Yep, thank you, Andrew. Right. To approve a correct record of the minutes of the meeting held on the 18th of July in 2024.
Apologies, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
Apologies.
Sorry, I'll get the apologies first. We've got Towsy Hinton, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, to approve the correct record of the minutes of the meeting held on the 14th of, we've got the date wrong here. July on this one.
Yeah, it was the 18th of July.
Yeah.
These are the actual minutes.
Yeah,
So it's the 18th of July minutes.
Yeah, has everybody read them? They're quite happy with them? Borough, right. That's it. Approved and second. Yeah.
Is that approved? Sorry, can we just ask?
Yeah, that's approved. Everybody approved them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Has anybody got declarations of interest of the agenda? No?
Okay.
What about item 4? Do you want to deal with that?
Yeah. No different.
Yeah, if you can deal with that one.
Thank you, Chair. So this is a report requesting the standing up of a cross-party working group to support the monitoring officer and myself in the review of the council's current arrangements for dealing with code of conduct complaints. So as members will be aware, under the Localism Act, we are required to have arrangements in place which set out how code of conduct complaints are dealt with and processed through the organisation. The arrangements were last updated in 2022. In January of this year, the Council adopted a new code of conduct which largely aligned with the Local Government Association Model Code. And whilst the new code does not necessarily directly impact on the approach to undertaking investigations, it's felt that a refresh of those arrangements is needed to ensure that they are up to date with other local government association guidance in relation to investigations and processes. We have had previous working groups to assist in review of the Code of Conduct, and it worked extremely well to get the input from councillors in terms of how those complaints are looked at and assessed and investigated. So the ask of the committee today is to establish that working group to review the arrangements and then come back to the committee with some fresh arrangements in due course. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks. Item 5.
We need to deal with the recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
So the recommendation on page 7, if you would like to move that.
Yeah.
Second.
Agreed to establishing a cross-party working group to assist the monitoring officer in a review of the council arrangements for dealing with the code of conduct and complaints. I'll move that. Can you second that?
Happy to second, yeah.
Is everybody quite happy with that? Do you need a vote?
If you would like to, if you could email Emma, if you're willing to participate, and we can get some dates in place. Okay, thank you. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So page 11, are they the current arrangements?
Yeah.
Not what you're proposing?
No, so they're the current ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There may be changes. Item 5. Move to item 5.
Thank you, Chair. So this is the update that comes to every Standards Committee meeting on the current state of Code of Conduct complaints that have come into the Monitoring Officer. These, of course, cover complaints from borough and parish councillors, or in relation to borough and parish councillors. So since the 18th of July committee, when this was last reported to members, the Monitoring Officer has received 7 new Code of Conduct complaints. You may recall at the last committee meeting there were 2 complaints outstanding. These have both been concluded, and a summary of those is enclosed in the exempt appendix. In relation to the 7 new complaints received by the Monitoring Officer, 2 have concluded after a formal investigation, and the decision notice in relation to those is appended to this report at Appendix 2. At the current time, there are 5 other complaints which remain ongoing. There's a list attached to Appendix 1 which sets out broadly the complaints that have come in and the stages that they are at. But that's the position in relation to complaints at the moment. If members would like to discuss anything in relation to Appendix 3, then we would have to move to a closed session to do so. But in relation to Appendix 2, that is in the public domain.
Right, thank you. Has anybody got any questions? Thank you.
Thank you,
What's
Chair.
the name again?
It's
Rosalie.
in relation to the spreadsheet. Complaint reference 4143 relating to St Albans Parish Council. I noted that the complainant is marked as member of the public. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't make a large deal of that if it's just a typographical error. But just in view of the pending complaints, also all relating to St Albans Parish Council, should that read complainant councillor, not Gedling Borough Council, rather than member of the public?
4143.
143, yes, the one just above the line that says complaints received 2024-25. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That is
Yeah.
that's a no.
Thank you. And Chair, may I make a comment generally in relation to the
Yes.
sort of current situation? I personally don't feel the need to sort of move into confidential discussions and refer to Appendix 3. But I would like the meeting to note my concerns about the volume of complaints that have come in relation to this particular parish council. I think it replicates phases we've had in the past. I've been on this committee for quite some time. I'm aware that this particular parish council, predating my involvement with this panel, had some issues, and I think had to be split into 2 different areas as a result. I think there were 2 issues, one of which, and I can refer to the appendix without breaching any confidentiality. Fran, you have referenced back to the councillors to remind them that what appears to be allegations coming in from both sides, and perhaps a bit of tit for tat is the wrong word. I'm sure that if a complaint is levelled against one councillor and then they feel aggrieved themselves, they counter-complain on something else. But it takes away from their core role of representing the residents in their parish council. So I think that is one concern. But I think there's a wider concern for residents generally within Gedling Borough Council, that the investigation procedures, the complaints procedures take up an enormous resource, legal and administrative, from Gedling Borough Council on behalf of Gedling officers. And I'm aware that then takes those officers away from other duties that they're obliged to carry out. So I think it's worth the councillors involved in making these complaints. Of course they can make complaints, but to think really carefully about the resource that's put into these complaints that then can impact on the services that are provided to residents throughout the Borough Council, completely unconnected to that particular parish council. So it's quite frustrating to see the detail. I don't know the underlying issues, but it's frustrating to see the amount of time that needs to go into looking at these things when the outcome is that there's no breach found. I think there should be an expectation on parish councils to use a little bit of discretion to recognise in the cut and thrust of debate when it's appropriate to take matters for an investigation, and when actually should just come back to the sort of core issues of what the parish council is supposed to be doing and serving its residents. Thank you, Chair.
Rosalie. Does anybody like any other comments on this issue? Any members like to say anything?
Just a comment from Rosalie mentioned about the parish being split into two. You may not be aware that it's now been looked at to being split into three ways. So hopefully some of those issues may well go away in the future if that's successful.
Yeah, there's currently a consultation out on a community governance review in relation to that parish, and that's out for consultation at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you, that's helpful to know.
Is that it? Anybody other comments on that? Are we quite happy and clear on it? Good. Right. If you can just note that report.
Yeah, just for notice, and
That's it now. We can move on to item 6. Is there any other items which the Chair considers urgent? I haven't got any. Have we? No. That's it. Right. Thank you for your attendance. That's a very short one, but we're all on it. Thank you.